Good morning, everyone. This is Jim. I'm in beautiful Bedford, PA. I just made a drop early this morning, about 3 o'clock, and now I'm waiting for my clock to reset so I can drive again. I had some time to kill, so I thought I'd make a video. My first. I ran through a couple that blew. I'm kind of a no nonsense guy. I'll try to keep it light, not repeat myself, because I hate doing that. So, if I can help somebody make a decision to become a truck driver or not, that's great. But I want to give you a fair representation of what it takes from the jump to get into this, and what I didn't know getting into this. Yes, I've pulled a lot of trailers in my life. I had a CDL at one time back in the day, long time ago. Um, so I was hauling water for in the oil field, and so my background has been in sales and management pretty much my whole career. I've owned four businesses. Um, I've hauled a lot of trailers, a lot of fifth wheel trailers, a lot of campers. I mean, so being on the road for me is not a big deal. I like driving. I like getting out and just being by myself and um, just clear your head, think. I don't want to be talking anymore, 10 hours a day to somebody. That's not me anymore. I did enough in sales management. You're just running your mouth all the time. Are you a detailed kind of person? Are you self motivated? You have to be in this industry. If you're lazy, it's not going to work. Um, you think you can just get out and you're gonna run 8 to 5 or 9 to 6 or whatever? That's not trucking. It may be in some areas of trucking if you're a local guy or whatever. But if you're OTR like me, that's over the road. That's a different animal. So know what kind of trucker, know why you're going to get a CDL and what purpose that you're going to OTR. You're going to go local. You're going to go regional. You're going to go dedicated. And we'll get into that more down the road. Hopefully, if people like this and it helps somebody, maybe I'll do more, or this may be the last one. But hopefully, you'll stay tuned, and we'll start by school. But like I said, first I want to start by who you are, and really kind of delve into that. And the reason I say that because the people that were in school with me, they didn't have a clue what they were getting into. They never pulled a trailer before. Maybe they went a couple states away from where they lived, and they thought they could be a truck driver. Well, excuse my morning ritual: water and snuff. Well, it's an all-day ritual actually, not just a morning thing. But I mean, are you going to be a solo driver? Are you going to be a team driver? Um, for the most part, getting started, you're going to be a solo driver. Unless you sign up with a company going to school that you're going to be a team driver. That's a whole different animal, which I'll get into later. Um, it's a whole different animal. Um, so let's get into school and what I experienced and a little bit about that process. Okay, I made a decision that I'm going to go to school. I reached out to company. I did I did what I thought was right, or as much homework that I thought I could make an educated decision. Should I have done more? Absolutely. Um, did I make a wrong decision? No. I mean, but could I have made a better one? Sure. That's on me. So you've picked out what company you're going to go with. They have a recruiting department, or it's outsourced. Mine was through Driver Solutions. I thought Driver Solutions was a part of the company. I guess it's not. It's just recruiting. They get paid to get people in the door, get them tested, and they probably get paid on commission or however that nonsense works. But they're going to paint a picture for you that's all snowflakes, rainbows, unicorns. They're going to paint that picture. They don't give a rat's ass about who you are and what kind of experience that you might have, or what kind of driver that you are, or they don't have a clue about that, and they don't care. They want to get you into school. Okay, that's their job. Okay, so I'm going to try to get past the recruiting part. Yeah, they made their pitch. They got you. You're going to go to school. They told you the cost. Now there's a cost. Average school is probably between $45,000 and $6,000. That bill stays with you. You stay with that company over a certain amount of time. You pay that loan off, and then you're good to go. Say 6 months down the road, you wise up or you realize, hey, I should have went with a different company. That bill stays with you. Now, these companies that you might go to, they may have a tuition reimbursement program that'll pay that original loan off, but then that loan stays with you at this company. So remember, that bill never goes away until you pay it off. And that's a big chunk of change. Now, I will tell you this: a guy in school that I went through school with, God dang it, he had his school paid through Workforce Center. I didn't even know that. I should have done more research. So there again, before you make any decisions on going to school through a recruiter, check your local resources out and see if you can get your school paid for through a Workforce Center or your state or whatever the case may be. It may be a great option. That way you don't have to pay it back. If you flunk out of school, you ain't got to pay the tuition back. So, but hopefully you don't flunk out of school. Hopefully you made enough, or you did enough research and made the right decisions that you're on the path that you want to take. All right. Say your morning routine is you get up, and this will come into play a little bit, and you'll understand why I'm talking about this. Again, getting to know who you are and if this is the kind of best fit for you. All right, you're going to be in this seat 8 to 11 hours a day. Okay. In your old life, you got a 9 to 5 job. You need to go to the restroom. You just walk 10, 15 feet down the road and you got a restroom. Out on the road, it's a little different story. Say you've got stomach issues. Then when it's time to go, you got to go. Well, you better keep that in mind if you're going to be a truck driver. You don't have the luxury. These things ain't outfitted with portable restrooms. Now I'll get into a little more of the disgusting side a little down the road. But there again, know who you are. Don't get caught in a situation where you have to pull over the side of the road, take care of your business, and hopefully you can get to the side of the road to take care of your business. But what if you can't? There's something to think about there. And like I said, I'll touch more about that later on down the road. Okay. There again, what kind of person are you? Are you detail oriented? Are you self motivated? Are you lazy? Do you like to sleep in? Do you like driving at night? Do you hate driving at night? Do you get halos when you're driving at night? Does your At 3 o'clock in the morning, if you're driving and the sun starts coming up, you get so sleepy that you can just crash out? Are you a light sleeper? Are you a heavy sleeper? That all plays into being a truck driver. I'm a very light sleeper. Now you may get a company that has reefers on the back of their trucks or the trailers. That's going to be running right by your bunk. Is that going to bother you? I need to have quiet when I sleep. Now, as I've got into this and I've been on the road long enough, those kind of things don't bother me anymore. But if you're a light sleeper, say you're going to sign up with a company that's a teaming company. I'm not even going to get into that right now. That's a whole different animal. That's a big chunk of time. I don't want to get into that. I want to get back to just the school process of it. So you made a decision. You checked out the company. You think you've made an educated decision. Okay. So you may have the option They're going to give you a bus ticket down to your school. They're going to fly you down. You're going to take your own vehicle. I highly recommend you take your own vehicle if you can. Reason being, you're going to get in. Say you had a bus ticket and they get you to the hotel. Okay. Um, the recruiters will tell you, well, most people, if they don't have a vehicle, they just team up with somebody and they go back and forth and everything's all hunky dory and no problems. Okay, well, that sounds okay. There's no meet and greet. At least there wasn't in my school or my hotel. I mean, you get there the day before. Um, you're going to go to class. Um, what are you going to do? Sit out there? You got to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning. You're going to stand outside at 7 o'clock, and hopefully there's another guy in a vehicle that's going to go to the same place you are. You're going to be asking people, strange people, hey, can I get a ride down to my testing facility? You're going to feel like a real dope. I would have. So keep that in mind. Take your own vehicle if you can. Meals weren't provided at this school. Budget for that. Um, you know, take a portable lawn chair down when you're school. You're going to do 2 or 3 days in the classroom. That's fine. You get out to your testing site. You're going to have there's going to be a lot of standing and waiting because you're going to have a group of, I don't know, 5 to 10 to 15 people in your group all doing the same thing. So while they're doing that, you're standing around. They don't have bench seating out there. It's not like a football stadium. At least it wasn't at my school. So if you didn't have a portable chair, you're standing. They may have one bench for the instructor, and two or three people could sit at that. That's a pain in the butt. So keep that in mind. Weather. If you're going to, I went to Fort Worth. Now the training ground that I was on was all caliche dirt, basically. You start getting rain, then you're standing around in rain. Make sure you pack a pair of boots or a raincoat or a jacket that repels water. Keep that in mind. I didn't have any of that stuff. There again, my recruiter didn't tell me what I should expect. So I had to buy that, because probably 3 or 4 days it kind of rained on us a little bit out there. And they don't have tents and canopies and all that stuff set up for you. So if it's got a light rain, you're just out there in it. Now, if you got a heavy rain, everybody goes into a central area and gets out of the rain until it gets back, and then you're stepping in mud and slopping around all day. So, pack a portable lawn chair, rain gear, and you'll be all right. So you're in school. You're going to get your drug tests and your DOT physical card and all that stuff. I think there was 2 people right from the jump in our class that these freaking idiots thought they could beat the system on these drug tests and all that stuff. Man, if you like to partake and that's your thing, man, more power to you, I guess. But if you think you're going to get around these DOT docs and they're watching you and all this stuff, man, think again. Just don't even try. These people were just oblivious, about how the testing was. Oh, somebody's going to be watching me doing this. Oh, and all of a sudden they're just gone. There was 2 people in our class that were just gone once they found out about that, and why they didn't know is just beyond me. And thank God they're not on the road, right? So you're in your testing. You get all your written tests done. I think you have 2 or 3 chances to pass all that. And like I said, hopefully you did your pre-tests on these free apps, and they're really pretty good. The information you're going to go over in school is pretty much what's going to be on the test. And at least the testing that, since COVID hit and all this nonsense, the testing school, I guess before, they gave you all the information. You went down to DMV and you had to test with an officer and all that stuff. Well, when I went to school, everything was done there, which I like. If it's like that now, I have no idea. So, I don't know, just something to think about. So you get all your testing done. You passed your written test, all the stuff. Now you're going to your now you're out at the actual testing facility. you're going to be going through your pre-trips, and you got to get all that verbiage down, and it's important. You got to have it, because when you on your test day, your final test day, you're going to get to know your truck, trailer, and all that stuff anyway. But you'll probably draw a card, or they'll however they do it, A, B, C, or D, or whatever the case may be, and it's just portions either to the truck or the your fifth wheel or your trailer or whatever, or the entire vehicle. You draw a card, and that's what you got to go over your pre-trip on. Um, so you have to know the whole thing to get past that. So you got your so you're at a testing facility. You're getting all you hopefully you've done your enough research that you can get past your pre-trip inspection, which is it's a hard one to get, to be honest with you. Um, but like I said, they give you enough information there. They give you step by step and all the verbiage, and basically it's a memorizing thing, pointing different things on truck and getting that verbiage right, all the way around that truck and trailer. You get that down, then you go to your next station, which is probably going to be your straight line backing. And that sounds easy enough, but if think about it this, and I'm not knocking people one way or the other. You would think that a straight line back, well, you're not in a car anymore. You're in a truck at testing it's 47 foot. I don't know how yours is going to be set up, but ours is 47 foot. You're backing up 47 foot, maybe 100 yards or whatever the thing is. People really had a hard time with that. You only have a certain amount of time at each station before they say, man, this just ain't going to work. You've got to get through one station to get to the next station, which is probably your offset backing, and then you're going to go to your parallel or your 90 degree, whatever state that you're in. You have different. In Texas, you've got to do a parallel park. Why you got to do a parallel park and why that's part of the requirement, I have no freaking clue. Since I've been on the road, and since the truckers that I've talked to, have you ever had to parallel park? Absolutely freaking not. Is there times where you need to parallel park to get a spot at these truck stops? Absolutely. Should you have that maneuver down? Yeah, you do, if you want to find a truck stop or find a place to park. Here, keep in mind, you're running all day long. It's time for you to take a break. You got to get your 10-hour break in and get your clock reset. It's 5 or 6 o'clock at night. Okay, I got a couple hours or an hour before I need to reset. I'm going to be looking for a place to park. Well, these truck stops are full, dude. Roads, overpasses, on ramps, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. There is no place to park. But then I'm getting ahead of myself again. I didn't want to do that. Sorry about that. Back to school. I can go on and on about things on the road, and I'll get into that more of that later on down the road after this segment if I ever get through it. You'll learn your maneuvers. You'll have a piece of paper that tells you one full turn this way, one full turn that way. Look at your landing gear, to get you through these stages. But here's the thing too. If you're spending, like I said, if you're spending 1 or 2 days on straight line backing and it's only going to get harder, you really got to think about, is this right for you? Because yeah, you're getting a CDL to be a truck driver, but what you are in reality is a trailer driver. And don't ever forget that. You're driving that trailer. And the sooner you understand that, the sooner you get that, the better. You are driving that trailer. Because where your truck is not necessarily where your trailer is. And you can get yourself in a whole heap of trouble really, really fast. And we'll get into that later on down the road too. So, what kind of driver are you? Are you used to manuals? Or are you strictly automatic? You got 2 options at school. You can get the endorsement for manual. That means you're going to be testing in a manual. Double clutching, as far as I know, in most of the states is a requirement now. Stupidest damn thing. I had a hard time with double clutching, I'll be honest. My advice is 95% of these fleet companies out there, or I like to call it big box companies, they're all automatics. Unless you're getting a CDL for a specific job that requires a manual, go the automatic. You can always pick up the manual endorsement later if you need to. Not a big deal. There's two people in my class, old time. Well, one lady, um, she just could not get the manual down on these backing maneuvers. It was just hell for her. One guy, old timer, he'd been driving for 30 years. He wanted to get his CDL back. Hey, more power to you. That double clutching just ate his lunch. Because of pride, he didn't get a CDL because all he had to do was go to switch to an automatic, but he could not get that double clutching down, and he couldn't pass the test. So don't let pride get in your way. Um, you're going to be driving automatic. You're going to like the automatic. I love it. I didn't think I'd like it. I'm used to shifting gears, floating in gears. I want to be in control of my truck at all times. I want to know what gear I'm in going up a hill, especially going down a hill. I want to know what gear I'm in bad weather conditions. There again, what kind of driver are you? What are you used to? Um, if you live in West Texas, you may not have a lot of chance to be driving on snow because you've got a 9 to 5 job. If it snows too much, they can't get the roads cleared. You're staying at the house. So how much driving do you really do in snowpack conditions or hopefully never icy conditions? What kind of driver are you? Be thinking about that. Uh, what time are you? What months are you going to be going through school? Say you go to school and it's September. Well, you're going to be at school a month, and it's October. You're going to go with a trainer for 3 to 4 weeks. He may be doing all Midwest runs. He may be, who knows where you may be going. We're going to get into trainers in a different segment. That's a whole different segment right there. But there again, know what kind of driver or what you're comfortable driving in, because you're going to be driving in everything, and hopefully you'll make the right decisions. Oh, great! It's starting to rain out here. Perfect. Um, there again, you never know what you're going to get into. So if you're going to go to school, try to get it in the early spring, mid to summer. I think that's the best time for new drivers because you're not going to have that weather that you're going to be dealing with right off the jump while you're still learning, and I think that's a big advantage. I think when I got done with mine, my first load was remember it was Indiana, and within a few weeks with that company, I was in blizzard conditions, and thankfully I'm used to driving on those kind of conditions, so it didn't bother me, um, didn't scare me. I was careful. I was slow and I was careful, but I got my loads done. If it ever got to the point where I felt that my equipment was at risk or I was at risk, my ass was pulled over. I'm not one of these super truckers that will fly by you. Even though we'll get into super truckers later on down the road. Now, don't get me wrong; those guys are great drivers, but when you hear me say super truckers, you'll know what I mean later on down in the videos. But you know, know your limitations. Pick the best time to start learning this in the best weather that you possibly can. Um, when you go through school, say you get all this done, you manage to get through your straight line backing and your 45s and your 90s and your parallels and all that stuff. The actual day of testing, remember, you're learning out on a practice course. You've got tons of room. You scoped out the terrain. Hey, if I turn here, my trailer's going to be here, blah, blah, blah. You get to the testing site, and it's not on the same location where you're at. You're going to be on the pavement with cones, and so it's different. But if you learn your maneuvers down, you shouldn't have an issue. But you will fail the driving test if you hit a curb. Plain and simple. You fail a driving test if you can't double clutch successfully. Luckily, my instructor, I was up front with him. I said, "Man, I'll ace the rest of the stuff, but the double clutching," I said, it just sucks. I hate it." He goes, "Jim, as long as I know you got control of your truck, trailer, I don't care if you float the gears." I said, "Game on." From that point on, boom, I was done. So I think I was done. Um, I got to my the actual test day. I failed my parallel the first time. Um, I think not everybody, but I would say probably 90% of our class failed the parallel the first time, and it's no big deal. You just got to go back to the yard. You got to practice your maneuvers, and I think you have 3 times to pass that, or it's sayonara. So the second time, I actually got through it. But don't get discouraged. I mean, you've got plenty of time. You've got instructors there that'll help you. You get out there, you feel like a fool because you failed a certain portion of the test, and you got to go back and redo it. That's just part of what it is. Just get through the nonsense, and then you can get with your company. After you get through with school, then you will. Well, here's another advantage to having your own vehicle. They don't give you your CDL at your school. You got to go to the DMV. Mine was 60 miles away. If I didn't have my vehicle, I'm therefore rely. Hopefully, you build enough relationship over 3 weeks that if you didn't have a vehicle, you can catch a ride if they're going at the same time your appointment set up at the DMV to uh, get your license. Um, at the time when I passed mine, there was nobody going to the DMV. So if I didn't have a vehicle, I would have missed my appointment time and had to get rescheduled. There again, working off somebody else's schedule to get down and get my CDL. So having your own vehicle there makes a ton, just makes life so much easier. So this thing's running a little more than what I wanted to. I'll try to cut it down. So next video is going to be getting with your trainer, what to expect, what you should know ahead of time, and maybe that one will be a little more fluid. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye.